this is it, and this is just everything. It's just what's happening. And there's no reaching this or trying to come to this. There's only this. There is already just this. And this, it's becoming a special word. But this is just sitting or moving the arm or feelings or thought about there's still a me. Can be a thought like that. That's just this too. So there's no point in these meetings. There's no point in reaching no me because there's already no me and there's already this. So we can speak about it, and maybe there are some beliefs and some concepts that are falling away or not. It's just already everything. So it can't be wrong or it can't be right what is happening. But when there's a me and it seems like you are someone and you're having a life and you're looking for something to make your life work or to feel better. That's the dream. The dream is that you think there's somebody who's there who can make your life work, who have the ability to make decisions, and that they can really, how do you say that what you decide, that will happen. You think that's how it's going. Sometimes it's not going like that, so then there's a thinking of, oh, I did make the wrong decisions. And that's the whole dream of with the problems, thinking I'm capable of making my life work, feels that I have a free will and I have choice and I can do what I'm thinking about. And when it's not happening like that, there will be a problem. Then there's a problem, and then I can be busy with how to work it out, or what did I do wrong, with what did other people do wrong, or what's wrong in the world, so we can solve it. So the me is on top of that whole dream, and it seems like the me is deciding, the me is the controller, the me is the one who's the boss of the system. And that seems like help to live a life in this amazing, threatening world. And it feels a little bit like less scary, maybe, to have the possibility to decide and to make a choice. But it's also a problem when the choices and what you want is not happening. So it seems like there's something going very wrong, and there has to be someone to blame about that. And maybe it's yourself, or maybe it's the parents or some other people. So they're starting a whole thing about trying to make it right. And that's the whole problem, and the whole dream of me is always about there's something wrong, there's something not right. And it can be just about your behavior, but it can also be like something in the world. It's anything. And then trying to make it right. And some people have made a lot of things like making money. It seems like the having a lot, much money, maybe that's it, or power, or maybe there's therapy. And in these days, there's non-duality. So it seems like having no me, that seems that there are no problems anymore. So there's a lot of longing for no me anymore. In fact, it's the same story. Longing for no me is the same story, like wanting to solve your problems, wanting to you not to have problems anymore, wanting to have freedom, longing for one or being together, not alone anymore, but just that it's going by itself, not having to try all the time or have those thoughts that give yourself like it's called, a bad feeling. This is not about a solution of anything. This is saying there is no hope. This is about death. This is about death of the dream of me. So there's no me. There's no Rose. Nothing is real. Nothing is solid. It's only apparently real. It seems like very real, but it's just energy without any meaning, without any purpose. So it's the dream, it's the death of the dream of purpose and hope. No hope, no purpose, no responsibility, no guilt. We were talking about this morning. It's just innocence. There's only innocence. There's no before, there's no after. There's just this. It's just innocent. It's just this without any meaning. Nothing good, nothing bad. There are no bad feelings or good feelings. They're just feelings for no one. And maybe there's even no naming feelings. It can be there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know if there's really sadness or there's something going on, a little bit sadness, then that's what's happening. That's it. Can't be wrong, can't be right either. It's not about right or wrong. It's just life. Life is everything. It's just aliveness, and aliveness is everything. It's not like a lot of bubbling. Can be very slow and eating a lot of candy and anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Een handje omhoog.
Ja, die moet aan een handje omhoog stoken.
Oh.
Maar ik wil het niet op de microfoon doen.
What? One moment.
Niet aan dit, raise hand. Nou, dan moet je op inspelen natuurlijk.
Oh, oké. Oké.
Een beetje vrolijk.
Huh?
Een beetje vrolijk.
Kom op.
I also can wait a few moments, a few minutes.
Yeah, go on. He said there was a hand, so please go.
Yeah, you were talking about innocence, and I recognize that in a certain way. I think everyone is in a certain way is innocence, but I recognize a lot where you're talking about. But you know, when someone is not honest, that behavior, in my opinion, for me it doesn't matter. But when someone is not honest, that for me that's not the innocence.
No, but when there's someone, there are always issues about some things, maybe honest or justice, or everybody maybe has different issues. There is no one. So there's not someone being dishonest to you. There's just talking in a certain way. And that's it. And there can be a reaction. That's it. It's not from someone what's talking. There's just that talking, and there can be a reaction, and there can be a feeling about that, or something is happening. Then there's that feeling. There's no story with the me. There's always a story about you saying that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's no story, and there can be any reaction. There can be anger, or I don't know what is going on, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting angry about that all the time, you know, when someone is not honest. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But then there's anger, and then that's talking or that behavior. If there's a story, then there's a story, and there seems to be always something wrong or not nice or something like that. That's the story. It's not wrong, but it's just a story. And it doesn't matter. When there's anger, then there's anger. And then it's nothing is real. So it didn't happen. It's just scratching, it's just that. And that's everything. And then maybe there's a remembering, then there's a remembering. That's it.
I really don't want to know how angry I can be. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay?
it's some behavior. Yeah.
It's just energy. It's a feeling. Yeah.
And you know, I know there is a story behind it. I know that. And it seems to be difficult to let it go or something like that.
No, you can't. You can't. It doesn't matter. You can't let it go. That's a new way of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
When that's what's happening, being angry, and then it seems like it's the same thing again, and it's again or something. It doesn't. It's just that's what's happening, and that's it. Nothing is wrong. Then it's not about being right or wrong, but in a way, in the dream of me, with the me, there's always something right or wrong. That's always about that. But it can't be different. That's just what's happening. It's not you doing it. It's just that energy like that. Yeah. They're sitting, and there be maybe feelings or touching the eyes. And you don't understand, and it's just going like that. It's not. You can't understand that. It's just going, and then you don't know. I don't know why things happening. Just it's like that.
Yeah, I also don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, someone asked me, I don't know the English word. I have to find. I think it's buigen.
Yeah. Okay. Bowing. Yeah.
Bow for that person.
Oh God, that's the new something. I don't know. There's just this happening, and that's not wrong. It's not right. It's just what's going on, and then there's something else happening. Nothing has any goal or point or so. It's going nowhere, but it seems like that, or it is hoping for something. This is it, and then there's something else.
And then it looks like the me has a lot of fightings to do. Yeah, a lot of fightings.
Yeah, but there's no one. So there's just that, because then there's already a little story about that. Then there's just anger, and then there's just walking, and then there's cooking maybe, or it's, yeah. And it's just like that. No before and after, and no story of that. Because we're there's so quickly a story about something, or trying to make a story and to understand, or to whatever, and then there is no story. There's just what's happening. That's it. And it's already not happening. It's already something else. It's just that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, William.
How are you?
I'm good. A bit tired, but good. Yeah.
That's good. The sense that what's happening isn't good enough, does that only...
Is what is it? Is it?
The sense that what's
Yeah.
happening is not good
Yeah.
enough.
It's not good enough.
Yeah. That's so when there's no longer a sense of me, there's no sense that this isn't good enough, whatever's happening.
No. There's nothing going on about that. No, it's just not arising. Yeah.
Because it seems to me, in my case, that the way the me lives is so much that what's happening isn't good enough, or this isn't enough. I need something more to happen.
Yeah. That's what the me does. It's always comparing or judging in a way, or something like that. It's always like, because there's an embodied feeling or belief. There's something not right, or there's something missing, or and that's also, everything seems to be solid and real. You are real, the body is real, life is real, what's happening is real. So there's something not right there in that story. The story is always about something is not right, in very different ways. Yeah.
Okay, and there's another question I wanted to ask, which is, you were saying in the introduction two things that stood out to me. One was that you said there's no point to these meetings, and the other thing you said was that there's already no me.
Yeah.
So I suppose from that perspective, nothing will happen, because if there's no me already, then it's not like there would be a me, and then because you listen to this meeting, then there's no me, because you're saying there's already no me. But it seems to me, well, obviously it seems to me like there is a me. But would you say that in the story, listening to these meetings, there can be an apparent change from a sense of feeling like someone into no longer that contraction just completely seeming to fall away?
Yeah, but something can fall away, sure, that's called death or something like that. But for me, it's always happening in the story. So it can't only listen in the story. So it seems like there's something happening. It's not here yet, but with some people, there was something happening. So in the story, there always seems a happening. So it can't be imagined that nothing is happening. I can't explain that, or there's nothing different also. But in the story of me, there's always before and after, and comparing and hearing, oh, this is changed and something. So that's the normal thing. And it can't be heard that there's nothing is real and nothing is going on. You can't, that's not about understanding. That's something else. This is out of the story, but you can't think out of the story, or that's just, there can be a resonance somewhere, but that's it. It's not graspable or something like that. So, yeah.
And when you say nothing's
It's
happening,
awful because, yeah.
oh, sorry, I'll
Yeah.
let you finish what you were about to say.
No, I didn't. It's already gone, so it doesn't matter. Just go on.
That kind of answers my question when you said it's already gone. Because I was going to say, when there's a me and there's something happening, there's always a holding on to experiences like, oh, that happened, that was a great experience, I need to relive that, or that happened, that was a bad experience, I need to really think about it to make sure it doesn't happen, you know. So when there's no longer any sense of anyone and there's nothing happening, then there's no longer a holding on to what apparently happened in the past.
No, that's not the right thing, but it's not noticed also. And it's not really like that in the story. It seems like when you're saying that, it's so convincing that you're saying from yourself, or maybe that when there's a me, there's always doing this with the story, or attaching this or that. In fact, it's the same as this, but there's such an embodied belief. There is something really happening, and there's something going on, and there's something when there's just thoughts coming, it's just boom, 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 like that, and then it's just the same. But it's so convincing that it's not. It's just a very strong belief and concepts about things. I think, like sometimes you believe in something and it's not even feels like a belief, but it's very normal and it's not even noticed, and suddenly something falls away. You don't even know what it is, and then suddenly you think, oh my God, I always thought it was like that. How could I see that? It was already different. It wasn't never like that. Oh my God, that can happen also in the story also, but that's the same thing. It's just so obvious, but there's something, going on. Like, oh, it isn't seen like that, but it's not about seeing also. That's the awful thing. That's what I want to say. That's the awful thing about this message, because you can't grasp it, you can't understand, you can't, and then, but in the same time, it's so simple because it's already what is going on. It can't be not it. Thinking it's not it is also it, but there's something going on, like there it has to be something else, something like that. But that's not only a thought, that's much more stronger than that.
Yeah. So there's no truth about how the way things are or the way anything is. There's just what seems to be happening.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing going on about that. It's just normal. It can be anything. It's the same. It's just, it can be talking in a story or drinking coffee or just normal. Nothing special.
Okay, thanks very much.
Anything. Yeah.
So, so thinking I have to drop the story, that's also it.
That's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's gone. Yeah. There's always some, it seems like there has to happen something because this can't be it. Something like that. And maybe there's something also, you don't want this life like it's now. So it has to be something else. Something like that. Yeah. There's no escape. It's just what is happening. And it can be anything, pain, anger, anything.
Rose, I'm having this thought. I'm having a thought that I want to be where you are, but
Yeah.
there's no one there in a special position.
I'm not there, so there's no Rose. It seems like there's somebody sitting here with a face, and there's someone inside, and she has something. Maybe that's an imagination. That's what we normally do. That you imagine how it will be like.
I think I project Rose as having an experience of freedom.
Ah.
And I feel like I want that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
it might sound
ridiculous.
It might sound ridiculous what I'm saying, but that's what I'm experiencing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not, you're not the only one. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what people do, that we projecting, and it seems like, oh, I don't have that. And so it's, and then, but you don't know. You can't hear, not only you, but you can't hear, this is it. Like just Williams going and with everything, it's just that. There's no difference. That's the amazing part. It's God, it's just this. But we want something else. We want something better, or no problems, or everybody has something else.
Because it seems to me that in this body, there's someone inside looking through the eyes, choosing to ask questions, listening to what is being said.
Yeah.
There's not that experience happening.
There's
so
no
me,
yeah, but yeah. No.
I was going to say, to me, it seems like there must be a difference.
Oh, yeah, but there's always difference. But that it's not. This is not better than that. That seems to be like that. It's no.
So even though there could be a difference, whatever the difference is, whether it's somebody feeling like a separate person and somebody doesn't, or somebody lives in one country, someone lives in another country, whatever the difference is, you're saying the dream is that then the assumption of the sense of self is one thing's better than another.
Yeah, that's always something like that. Yeah. Yeah. This can't be it. This how it's Williams going, things like it can't be no, because I hear something else, so I don't feel that, or I don't experience that. No, this is not a feeling or an experience. it has nothing to do with experience or feeling or a certain state or something like that. It's just everything. It's just what's happening. But that's not different. That's maybe the happening is different, but that's just different. Not better or worse. It's just different.
So even if, I mean, this is a story now, but even if the sense of self came back for Rose and you felt tomorrow like a separate person again, that wouldn't be a problem.
That sometimes what happens is sometimes there's coming back like, oh, I can't do this, some thoughts like that. And I don't know what some thoughts like that. But then they go. I don't know. And then, yeah, there can be the next day, there can be the same thing, and then they go. Yeah, but it's not. You can't say how it is. That's so. But it's so not serious. It's so. I can't say how it is. When there's a sense of me, or there's something like, oh, maybe I was trying to, there was some friend who was saying something to me about what I did. And then she said, you have to look to yourself, at yourself, something like that. I did it a long time ago because I was really into therapy and looking at yourself, things like that. And I was, oh, okay, well, I will try. And I was sitting on the bicycle and I was like, oh, so there was that. I couldn't even remember very much, but I thought, oh yeah, there was about, I can't say anymore, but it was something where I had to look at that. It didn't work. It didn't. So I thought, oh, it's just not, it's just not working. And then it was gone. So yeah, but that's not coming. So what is this? It's just what is arising. That's what's happening, and that can be anything. And when there's looking at yourself, it's not that it's wrong, but it's just different. But it seems, and that's the dream of the me, it seems like it's important. And that can be a difference. That it seems this is important, or this has meaning, or this has purpose, or all those things. That's just falling. That it's just not there anymore. I can't. It's not serious. Nothing is serious.
It sounds brilliant.
Something like that.
It sounds brilliant when you say nothing's serious and nothing's important, but then I straight away think I need to have that as my experience.
Yeah, that's it. There will always, whatever I say, there will always be something like comparing and thinking, oh, that sounds really great. I want to have that. Yeah, sure. So trying to describe what's going on, that's also tricky because there's always somebody that looks like it and like, oh, that sounds really good. But it's just what's happening. So it's the same. But it doesn't feel the same. I can hear that.
Okay, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. this is also not about Rose has something or something like that. Maybe there's being clear, but maybe not. I don't really know. When there's some question, there can be a clear answer, but maybe it's not that clear. I don't know. It's not about knowing how it is or describing everything very clearly. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that's just what's coming. So it can be clear or anything.
Rose, I've got another question. When you apparently died, or when the sense of self apparently fell away, did all of the past of what you thought was your life die with that?
There can be, no, they are still remembering. They're still remembering. It's very obvious it didn't happen. But in the same time, there's also the story about having a life and photographs or anything in the story. There still can be talking in the story with remembering. That's still there.
So you could tell me a story from the past, like when you went to go to a meeting with Tony, for example, the first time.
Yeah.
There's a memory, but then
there's a memory. I don't know if it's don't think it's the same as that when it was there, but yeah, that's just a remembering. So it's happening now. So that's the remembering. We think remembering is really what happened in the past. I don't know. It's only a remembering.
But you said it's obvious that it didn't really happen.
No, nothing is really happening. Yeah.
Including
there's nothing happening. There's only nothing. And it seems like there's happening everything. It's just a play of life. But we thinking we are real and everything is real. But
so I
matter.
think that I'm experiencing a real conversation.
Yeah.
But there's no experience of anything really happening.
There's hearing words and saying words. Sure, it's that, but that's it.
Okay.
But it's not that different. The brain still works, so I can understand what is going on, and I know there's still, the normal things that I understand what you mean, or I think I understand what you mean, or something like that. It's knowing what's a table or something like that. It's just still there.
But there's no story.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I was going to say, okay. So when there's no story attached to what's happening, then there's no drama about trying to get somewhere with it.
No, that's not there. No, that can't be there. It's just there can be a preference for something to happen.
Yeah.
But, you don't know, but there can be a preference, of course. And then there can be it's not really disappointment. It can be disappointment, but in the same time, it's not really that serious or something like that.
Okay.
No, it's not really, no.
Okay, thank you.
What also is there's no difference between two things in a way. There's a difference, of course, but not in I was talking about walking in nature or walking in the city. I can't see the difference. Yeah, there's a difference. I can see that walking in buildings and walking in between trees. So that's the difference, but not in this is nicer or that. I don't know. It's just different. Yeah, different. That's it.
But that is an experience or not? It's not an experience. Or...
Well, it's more like explaining how there's no difference between this or that. And this just an example of what can be there, like walking in nature or walking. There's no difference. There's just, there can be that is not an experience. When there's walking between walls or between in the city or something like that, and then there's feelings or maybe sounds of, yeah, that's everything then. So there's no comparing to something else. You can't, it's trying to explain things, maybe it's impossible, I don't know. There's no comparing. So when there's talk walking in nature, then that, how can you say it? There's no comparing. Maybe that's what I wanted to say. So nothing is better than something else. No.
I suppose the me is looking for a real difference, and that's why it's always comparing. So when there's walking in the city or walking in the nature, the me thinks like, oh, now I'm in nature, things are really different, so they're really better now.
Yeah, that's it.
What you're saying is that when there's no longer the sense of me looking for a real difference, if there's walking in nature, there's just that. There's not.
Yeah.
If there's walking in the city, there's just that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And there's nothing going on for I'm feeling better now or something like that. No, that's not there. Yeah. Because it's always comparing, like I want that comparing is always about feeling better, about I want that to have that because I want to feel better in some way.
Yeah.
And that's not there. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I can't imagine that, and you can't describe. Well, you are describing it, but you can't. You can't describe it in a way that I would then know what you mean. Like,
no,
it can't be known.
No. Yeah, and the funny thing is, there's no need for knowing that. No, it's already like that. But God, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's an awful sentence. It's already like that because you think, I don't feel that. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Everything is celebrating. It's just life celebrating, and it seems like buildings or it seems like trees. It's just energy. Maybe there's just smell or anything. It's just life. Oh, there's here. There's no suffering, no fear of death, no needs or wants, or then maybe wanting a pizza, or if I get one, fine. If I don't, fine too. Maybe when I don't get a pizza and I want a pizza, I think, oh, I don't like it's not serious, not wanting. It's a subtle joy at times, but me or no me, real or unreal, nothing and everything, can't say anything about that, no clue whatsoever. You can say something about that. Oh, there's no suffering. Oh God, how do you say that? There's no suffering, no fear of death. No. There can be somebody saying to you, and maybe there's cancer somewhere, and there can be like, oh, something like that. Maybe there, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So there can be a lot of feelings, and well, I don't know if it's fear of death. There can be like, oh, like that, or there can be anything. So you can't describe what's going on, but you don't need to describe because it's just life. And that's already the case. It's just everywhere. It's just, and the only difference maybe can be that there's just no one, and there's never no one, and there's nowhere no one, or there's nowhere someone. And that there's an embodied belief that there's someone and everything seems to be real, and it can be so strong and so embodied and so real, and everything seems to have you hear it and you want to know it, or you make an image of it, or you make a whole voorstelling, an image, an imagination about that. You think you know, or your feelings like that. You have like thinking that this is a state or this is something. So everything is something in the story. So the looking is also for something. You can't imagine that there's no looking for something. It's always for something, because that's what is known, what is normal. So there's something or something else, or a state or a feeling or something. And this is not about something. So then there's nothing in the hands. There's no getting any clues. And normally you want clues, but if you get clues, that's in the me gets clues to move on in the story and make your life better, or going better in the dream. When there are no clues, then it's stuck. There's nothing going anywhere. The thoughts maybe they're going. They want to know, and then suddenly there are no answers. So it's bored. It's like they're new. It's not going so much anymore. That's. You could say, but what's happening in these kind of meetings, there are no answers, there's no direction, there's nothing given, there's no hope. So and that's the normal way of trying to find. So that's not answers, there's no fuel for that search. So that falls a bit flat and down, and then suddenly like, oh, of course, it's like that. And it can be for moments or not, I don't know. But and then when I'm saying this, then they're thinking, oh, I wait for that moment that it's, of course. Oh, it's endless. It will be, when there's a search, there will always be looking for something. And this is about nothing. God, and when you can't reach it, you can't take it, you want it even more. I know that. But it's the strange thing. It can't be heard that it's already this. That's it. That's the message. It's already what's happening. So no goal, there's no need for help or no need to come at any meeting at all. It's already happening like that. So.
Rose,
Yeah.
would you say that when there's a sense of me, there's always a goal attached? So
Yeah.
the me then thinks, because it needs to make something happen, it has to be a certain way, and I have to behave a certain way in order to make my goals happen. And then when there's no longer the sense of self, because there's no longer something needs to happen, the character's free to just be naturally as it is without trying to restrict its behavior or behave in the right way. Or
although there can be a deepening in that, because the body can't, it's not immediately like everything is free like that. It can't be. In the story, you could say that deepens and that relaxes, and that can take years or moments. I don't know, like that.
You mean years after the collapse of the sense of self?
Yeah.
So
It's just that, but when there's talking in the story, also there's a deepening and there's a relaxation or something like that. So it can be like something like that, and it's in certain parts of the body like that.
You mean the deepening prior to the collapse of the sense of self?
No, after.
After, okay.
Yeah, that it's a deepening. It's stronger. It's in that sense. It's more obvious, something like that. Yeah.
Is that because there could be a lot of conditioning held in the brain, even when it's
in the brain and the body. Yeah.
That I need to see the
it
right
doesn't
way.
matter so much. It doesn't matter anymore, but it's still going like that. And then still sometimes there's a feeling like, oh, there's something not there anymore. I can't even say what it is, but there's something not there. And then there's in the body, there's it can be very tired also, something like that.
So even after,
but that's just a story. I don't know. Maybe that's not right. That's not really happening. That's just a story. I think that's going on, but maybe it's just that's just a story. Well, that's how I see it.
Right, that makes sense. That's very clear. Yeah, I was going to ask another question, but you've answered it already.
About
the question I was going to ask is about the conditioning. So even after the sense of self drops, in the story of time after that, there could be a gradual falling away of certain patterns of behavior.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether that falls away or not. Then I suppose if there's no longer a sense of self, it doesn't matter if those conditioned patterns remain or not.
No, doesn't matter. No, I don't care. No. It's not me doing that. It's just what's happening. It's not me. That's what always was like, a threat, like, am I doing right? Am I not doing right? When that's not there, it's obvious. It's just life. It's just behaving in a certain way. So it's not my behaving. It's just yeah.
And then you wouldn't judge yourself. Well, you're not there, so there couldn't be a judgment about I'm wrong or I was inappropriate or that behavior should have been different.
But it's not. It's not even that. There's no one looking at it, so it's not noticed. It's just not noticed what is going on. There's no one looking at it. That's not there anymore. So there's just behavior or just saying things. And most of the time, I can't even remember what I've said or done. Sometimes I can. Doesn't matter. I think most people have that they don't remember, but there's something strong going on, like making it like, because there's such a huge feeling of I have to do the right thing. So that's so strong, then it's making up in a certain way. It's not really making up like, she's making up things, but it's so strong that all the time, like there is no story, there's nothing going on. So, but there's a feeling or such a strong belief, I am someone. So I was always, people said to me, you're like sometimes you say this, sometimes you say that. It's not one line. So be more like one line. And then I was like, oh God, and I have to do it like that. And I looking for a structure, or I was always looking for it to be in a certain way. I couldn't do that, but it was such a belief. I have to do that. That was put so much energy in it. And I couldn't. No, Nobody can. Of course not. It's just happening by itself. You don't know why. It's just like that. It's chaos. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like that.
I like that idea. Well, it's not an idea, but there's no longer anyone identifying with I am this way, because like I always think, what way am I? I need to be that way. But there could be a day, I suppose, when you're more talkative and loud. There could be a day when you're more quiet. There could be a day when you're in a silly mood and you're just laughing all day. But there's no longer anyone identifying I need to be this way all the time.
Yeah. And it's chaos. It's like this and this and that and that. And we need to be one thing. Oh my God, it's always something wrong because, oh, I'm not that. Oh no, I've tried so much and oh, it's always something wrong. No, it will never happen. God. Yeah.
I suppose that idea that I need to be one thing comes out of the question, who am I? When there's no longer someone there going, who am I? Then there's not one way of being all the time.
No, it's just, it's chaotic and in certain, it's energetic. So sometimes it's energetic, very strong, and then it's very slow. It's I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just different.
And there's not a problem. Well, you've already used the word chaotic, but there's not a problem with trying to define myself, how I am or how I should be. It's just, yeah,
it's just what's happening, but it costs a lot of energy to trying to make yourself in a certain way. Oh, it's some but
huge amount of energy. Yeah. Thanks again, Rose.
Thanks. Okay, I guess it will be seen or not. It's not seen or not. It's just, then if you think it's in one moment it will be seen, then you wait forever. That's the awful thing. God, yeah. It's already this. It's already what is happening. You don't have to wait till it's seen.
Rose, hi.
Yeah. Hey, Bertha.
Hey, hello. I finally made it.
Good.
Nothing else. And even when wishes come up, they are just what they are. They do not need to be fulfilled. It is no need in it. It's just a wish or an idea about something in the future would be nice to happen, but it's at the same time it's free. It doesn't make anything better or worse if the wish is fulfilled.
Yeah, but that's in the dream, in the me with the me. It seems important that the wishes are fulfilled, and then I feel better. So that then the wishes are important to be fulfilled or something. There can be a wish, of course, but you don't know. You don't know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But when there's a strong something with that also normally, not always maybe, but when there's a wish, it seems like it becomes important. And then the whole story begins about what to do to make that wish true. And there are a lot of people talking about that, how you can do that. I don't think that will ever work, but sometimes it seems to work, and then it's very convincing because it's what is going on. It's the same as your wish, so it seems like you did it. It's just coincidence, and then it can be a different way, and then you think, oh, I didn't do the right thing, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So naturally, the wish itself is just free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a wish. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah, there can be a wish like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, and that can be for anything, yeah, to have a nice house or much more money, or I don't know, it can be written, but yeah, why not? Doesn't make anything better or so, no, but.
An ex-partner.
Sorry? Yeah?
An ex-partner, for example.
An ex-partner. You want to have an ex-partner.
Or an ex.
You want to have an ex-partner.
No. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Rose?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, you were saying something like there is no me, but there is still like, yeah, a sense or a behavior like a me. So it's both.
Behavior like a me.
Yeah. Or a sense like
There's just behavior in a certain way. There can be conditioning in that, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's an ongoing process. And in those patterns, it's also not necessary to look at the patterns.
Nothing is necessary. No.
No.
No. That's the story. That's confirming that there's something wrong. Nothing is wrong. Of course not. It's just life. It's not you doing it. It's just life. Like that. So what?
Rose, this message
Yeah.
is absolutely incredible.
Mm.
I absolutely love hearing it, because even
Yeah.
though I still feel like a separate me, there's a resonance with the freedom.
Yeah.
Like when you were using
Yeah.
the word about behavior being chaotic, like,
Yeah.
there's just
Yeah.
such a resonance. It's like what you were saying in the introduction about innocence, and like a child is
Yeah.
playing freely. It might say
Yeah.
something and someone feels offended, but the child is innocent in that. There's no agenda behind anything the child's doing when it's being playful and free in its behavior. And
Yeah.
I guess throughout my life, going into teenager and becoming an adult, with all the conditioning, there was a strictness: I have to be this, I have to be that way. And there's almost
Yeah.
like, as I'm resonating with what you're saying here, there's a remembering
Yeah.
of just that absolute freedom, because it is all it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Ah.
It's the same with animals
Yeah.
as well. Obviously, they don't have a sense of self,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
and they're completely free in their behavior. But
Yeah.
then, but it's also innocent too, because there's no agenda to cause anyone pain or to get something, or whatever. There's just what's happening, and they're not judging themselves. I'm wrong because I did that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. 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 That's it. Yeah. So when
But
there's no one, and then there's also no one at the other side, you could say, with other people, in other people, there's not seen anyone. So that's the innocence. There's nothing going on but good or bad or something like that. That's can be so freeing also.
okay, that's hard for me to imagine. So even if someone's making a strong demand of you, like you have to do this, you have to behave this way, there's no longer anyone feeling threatened by their behavior, or
There can be a feeling, or there can be a feeling of stress then, but it has nothing to do with that there's someone doing that. No, that's just stress. There can be stress. Yeah.
but there's not a drama about the other person's bad and I need to get away, or whatever's going on.
No. 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 There's no one. So there can be stress, and then, what normally in the story happens, then there's stress, and you think, oh, that's because of you said it, and it's picked up, and then it gets something like that, and then it can be stress, and then like that, and then I don't know. Sometimes it's saying it, sometimes not. I don't know. It depends. Or it depends. Sometimes it's said, and sometimes nothing is said and it's forgotten, then it goes away. It has nothing to do with that person. No.
And
There is no one. But there's also, it's not, there's no, when there's, it's just somebody saying things like that, and then there's, then you can sit in your own and you're still thinking of that person. There's no one. There's just that room, sitting in the room, that's it. And maybe there's stress in the body. That's it. That's everything. So.
And none of it matters, being happy or being stressed or angry or
no.
laughing. It's just what's happening.
Yeah, that's so strange to hear, because there's a difference, but there's no, this is better than that. No, it's just different. It's no, there's no preference in, I want feeling not sad, but more glad or something like that. No, there's no. Yeah, you can't explain that. That's
No, you can't explain it, but
Yeah.
it does sound amazing. Like it's resonate. Like it's great to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
It's
And
definitely
pain is really pain. Like it's not like, oh, that's okay. There's pain. No, it's like, I don't want, and saying, I don't want it. Something like that, maybe. But that's, yeah, like children. It's maybe the same. It's just the same. It's just very like that. And then it's gone. Something like that. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thanks
you.
for the meetings.
Thanks. And when there's playing games, there comes a really fanatic thing like, I want to win, and I playing not the right thing, so I can win, something like that. But it's just not serious. But it's can be very strong. Come like that. Playing false. I like that. Yeah. I'll get very. Yeah.
Rose, and then also because you were saying there's no one else. So when there's no longer a sense of self and there's no one else, there's no longer any need to please anyone or do something in order to make sure someone else feels happy.
No, that's not there. That's also very freeing. I was someone who was always pleasing everybody. I thought I have to please everybody. Everybody has to like me. I thought that was my thing. No, will never happen. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no one. There's no one. So who has to please? Who to please? Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
But it's not in the mind, something like that. It's just, it's just going like that. It's not, because then sometimes it's a concept, and then it's like, I don't need to please any, because a lot of people know that, of course. But then there's such something else going on that's why it's called embodied, because it's not only thinking I don't have to please everybody. So everybody knows that I'm okay, you're okay, all those concepts. But it's not about that. It's embodied, so it's an energetic thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes like that. Yeah.
It was because when you were using the example about sport and being competitive to win, and I thought, if that's me and I'm feeling like a separate person, I'm thinking, I don't want to upset the other person. So I don't want to play I wouldn't want to play fully competitively to win in case they get upset because I'm beating them.
Okay.
But like I said as well about animals, there's no sense of self with animals. They want to be the dominant animal. They want to eat more of the food. If there's two cats and there's some food, one cat wants to eat all the food, they're not thinking I'm going to upset the other cat.
No, and there are other cats. Maybe there are cats, they just are shy and don't do anything. It can be different, of course.
Yeah.
Depends. I don't know. It's not all. I don't know. It's not always like that. Also competitive. I don't know. Maybe sometimes not. With my husband, I am. Maybe with other persons it's different. I don't know. But it's not serious. That's the joy. It's there, but it's in the same time not serious. And that's
And you're not even afraid if you do something. Well, there's no you, but you wouldn't be afraid if you do something and your husband gets upset with you. There's just
yeah, that can happen maybe, and then we'll see what's happening there. I don't know. Yeah, can happen. I don't know.
But I think
anything can happen, of course. Maybe I'm doing something and that it upsets him. Of course, that can happen anytime. That's just life. Yeah.
But I think when there's a sense of self, this huge fear of I don't want to upset someone. I've got to restrict my behavior. I've got.
Yeah, of course. That's huge. Can be huge. But that's not there. I don't. Yeah. There's nothing going on about it. There can be some structures that just go like that. That can be there. I don't know. That can be like conditional behavior. That can be there. So what? Then there's conditional behavior. Then there's going with because we are so much into like, oh, I'm not doing that because I fear that somebody is going to be angry and blah, 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 blah. That's such a story. There's just, when there's something going on, there's certain behavior, but there's nothing going on about looking at yourself. That's not there. That's when there was a me. I remember some in at the end maybe that there was such a awareness, and I was so tired of that, and there was always looking someone towards me, like, or there was always somebody looking at me like, oh my God, I don't want to be aware of myself anymore. But that was so strong. At first I thought, it's good to be aware of yourself, and I did a lot of work on that, and then in the end, I couldn't bear it anymore. It was so much like, every time I'm looking at myself, judging every time, everything. And it's the amazing thing is when it's not there, it's not even noticed. It's just gone. It's so normal. It's not even noticed. It's very normal.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I also want that.
Hi, Rose.
Hey, Sophie.
Hi. I need a question. I don't know how to. I hope I will be clear about that. There was like a lot of things falling away here, and that changed quite a lot in my life. But then there's like a situation like that I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I just wondered, like, that's not knowing what I'm going to do. Is it what you're talking about as well? Is it the same unknowable, or just?
But there's always not knowing what to do. But we assume that we know, or we're trying to know. But it's always like that. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then there's a trying to know or trying to think about it or trying to speak about it or anything. Which I don't know, but it doesn't need to know because that what's happening is just going by itself. So it's not you doing it or not doing it.
It feels like in a way some kind of freedom because you don't know what's going to happen, and it's like anything can happen at the same time. That kind of freedom. And on the other hand, it feels like, wow, it's going to be huge, and I have no idea.
That's the fear. Yeah. That can be there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's very strange to see the fear and the not knowing at the same time. It's just like the fear and there's some kind of freedom in it. It's just so it's confusing. It's confusing in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be together. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sure. do you often have that, or you have it all the time, not knowing what you're gonna do, or not knowing?
But there's there's just not knowing, but that's not like very obvious that I think, oh, I don't know what to do, something like that. There's just sometimes that comes up because then there can be some choice, like going on holiday, where to go or something. I don't know, something like that. There seems to be a choice or something like that. But there can also, there's always not knowing, of course. Not especially here, but everywhere, of course.
Yeah.
There can be like a threat, like, oh my God, I don't know. Can be.
Yeah, I think when it's really, when it have to do with like big things in life, like, I don't know, like moving a place or relationship or like a broken heart, then it's like, then it's like more serious stuff. I mean, not knowing like not knowing what I'm going to eat, or it's not.
Sure.
But not knowing what, you know, like when the big shift comes. Because the structure is changing, so suddenly everything is changing as well.
Yeah.
So it feels more, serious. It's big. It's bigger.
I hear you. Sure.
Yeah.
That's different. Of course, that can be different because that other one is just not so much. It's just easy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But then those structures of those that me that like, oh, it's important that I do the right thing or something like that. It's much more strong than in normal things. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because you so want to do the right thing, right?
Yeah, sure. The right thing for you. And you think there's a right thing for me.
Yeah.
There isn't, of course, because there is no one that what's happening is it. And it can be painful or no money or I don't know anything. Of course, you don't know what's going to happen. And and then suddenly you can say, "Oh, it's okay. Not knowing is okay." And then suddenly there's really not knowing. Oh my God! That's something else. Sure.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because it's like free falling on one hand, but there's still structure trying to control that. There's still
that can happen. Then that's kind of just like that. And it can happen in the body or in events, in scenes like, oh my God, what's going about behavior? It can happen in anything. Yeah.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Hello, Rose, it's Christiane.
Hello, Christiane.
Yeah. So we have, there's no choice. There's no free, there's no cause. Early, you said that you feel some tired. You feel some
Ah,
tired.
yeah. Yeah.
But I'm usually always tired. But I search the cause.
Ah.
So it could be possible that, like, I don't know the cause, but it could be like eating too much sugar or anything else. But if it's happened like that, it's happening like that. Life happening like, I'm tired. So it could be. It could be always like that. I don't have power on that.
No, but there's also, we are thinking, when I'm saying I'm tired, it's that moment. Now it's different. So it's not, we are thinking when I'm saying, oh, me or you or anyone, I'm tired, then it's all day long. I don't see it like that. It's just now and then tired. Now it's not there, and maybe in a moment it's suddenly there, and then it's doing things. It's that just doing things. There's nothing going on about being tired, or it's always different. So, but we are so much into making it one thing and then trying to solve it by doing something at it. So it's making it like as a state. There's no always tired. It can be different, and there's no cause or effect. And there's no cause, and there can be anything about that. I don't know why it is.
Yeah.
It's just different. And then there's tiredness, and then there's sitting. And if you watch the whole day, that would be really different. But it's always different. It's just not, maybe not tired, but just sitting. And I know if somebody asks at a certain moment, then I'm saying, oh, that's like that. I'm just sitting, or suddenly, oh, I'm tired, and suddenly, oh, there's something. I don't know. It's always different. So,
but if it is not different, if someone as always, like a friend is always a health problem, like diabetes, or perhaps you mean that sometimes she don't feel it, the sickness. Perhaps
no, but it can be there. It can be a sickness or a lot of tiredness or something like that. Yeah. And but it can be looking for a solution or going to the doctor also. And not eating sugar maybe, or something else, or I don't know.
But it's not important. It's just like that.
No, but it's not. Yeah, it's just life happening. Nothing is important because there's no difference between this or that. But when there's someone, it's always like, I want to feel good in my life. And that's why we're talking about that. But that doesn't mean that there can be a figuring out by, like, oh, I want not eating sugar anymore. So I don't know, something like that. And it's working like that. Anything can go like that. It doesn't mean you don't do that anymore, because that's a new way. Like, oh, this is not duality. I'm not figuring out anything anymore. So it doesn't matter if I eat sugar or not sugar. That's another way or another concept about this. That when that's going like that, where Christiane is someone who does that, then she does that and doesn't eat sugar because of, and why not? It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
So what?
It's freedom.
Yeah. That's the freedom, that there's nothing wrong with what is, because there's no one doing that. It's just what's happening, and that's life. There's nothing wrong. That's this, and that's eating sugar or not eating sugar. It's not about those things, or not about not going to a healer anymore, or not all those things. Why not? It doesn't matter. It's just when that's going, then that's life happening in that way. So what? Nothing is more important than anything else.
Thank you.
That's the freedom. That's
Yeah.
the freedom. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the freedom. It's just what's happening. So there's no certain way what's better to do, because then and we are so in non-duality. There's such like, oh, there's no one. So when you think you're someone and you try to do something, it seems like it's still not there. Oh God, that's the new way of trying to work on yourself again in a certain way, like trying to find no me, or trying to not taking care anymore, or to how do you say, not being serious. You hear it, oh, it's not about serious. Oh, not being serious. There's always trying to grasp something and then do that or teach that or something like that. But it's everything. That's the joy. There's just can be silly or not clear in the answer, and being here in a meeting and being not clear, maybe, I don't know. So what? Yeah, there's no point in doing anything. It's not Rose doing it or anyone. It's just life that way. And life can't be not perfect. It's just like it is. That's it. That's the joy. It's everything. Any behavior, any seemingly decision. So what? That's not your decision. It's just life. And it's apparent. Everything is just apparent. So what the it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's just life. In everything. In everything. That's the freedom. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Rose.